Hello everyone, back again with GCSE Math Solutions. We're still with the AQA exam board, the foundation level. And this time it's the specimen paper 2 from 2015. You can download the paper from their official website. We can use calculator here, and as usual I will walk through the whole paper with all discussion and calculations shown in the video, and I'll keep the video duration under the timer load. I hope that gives you the idea of how you should manage your time during exam. No rushing, but don't too slow either. So enjoy! Question number 1. Which of these numbers is one more than a multiple of 5? Circle your answer. You know the multiple of 5? If you start from 5, you will have 10, and then you have 15, and then you have 20, and so on and so forth. But then you ask one more than that, so it should be either 6 or 11 or 16 or 21, and so on. So this is not our answer. This is not here. 26, yes, I think if we have 25 here, we got 26 here. So this will be our answer. Let's carry on with number 2. Question 2. Which of these numbers has exactly 3 factors? You remember the factors of a number. So if we have 3 here, 3 has 2 factors. It is 1 and 3. The reason is that if you times 1 and 3, you get 3. That means 1 and 3 are the factors of 3. What about 4? It has 1 and 2 and 4 as its factors. The reason is that if you times 1 and 4, you get 4. So 1 and 4 are the factors of 4. What about 2? You can times 2 with another 2, you get 4. So 2 is a factor of 4 as well. 4 has 3 factors. I think we got the answer already. But if you want to carry on, just check what about 5. It has 1 and 5 as factors. What about 6? I think 6 has 1 and 2 and 3 and 6. So it has 4 factors. Our answer is confirmed. It is 4. Let's continue with question 3. Which of these numbers is 6 less than minus 1.4? So if we have a number line here and we got minus 1.4 here, that means we are counting backwards because it's less than. So we're counting backwards 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we stop here. This will be minus 2.4, minus 3.4, minus 4.4, minus 5.4, minus 6.4, and minus 7.4. So we got the answer, this one, if you use number line. But there's another way. I think it's much easier way. It's just to say minus 1.4 take away 6. Take away means you are counting backward, isn't it? So this will be just minus 7.4. I think that must be easiest way. Anyway, choose your method, which one is suitable for you, and good luck with that. We are in question 4. Which shape is congruent to the shape X? Circle the correct letter. You know the word congruent? That means there is another shape that has exactly similar shape and size. So let's see what are our choices. We have several shapes here, A, B, C, and D. Which one is congruent with X? So if I say A, please use your imagination to turn this X into A. So if you turn it to the left, can you get A? I don't think so. So A is not an option. What about B? So if you rotate X to the right and then rotate it to the right again, do you think you can get the shape in B? No, not at all. But we don't have it. So B is not an answer. And then now can you imagine that X can be turned into C? I think that's quite obvious. It's not the case. C. What about D? This will be the answer anyway, because we don't have any other choices. But let's check. Let's rotate X again, this time to the left, and we will see, is it going to be the shape in D? Yes, it looks perfect. So D will be our answer. Question 5. The map shows the position of two ships A and B. Where is it B? I can see B is here. Okay. And the map has the scale 1 centimeter represents 2.5 kilometers. Work out the actual distance between the ships. First of all, we need to measure the distance on the map. From A to B, I use my ruler. So from here to here, from A to B, I got it's 8.5 centimeter. And we are asked about the actual distance, so we will use this scale 1 centimeter for 2.5 kilometers. Let's write it down here. We've got 8.5, that is in centimeter. We need to times it by 2.5 kilometers. So we'll have, let's use our calculator, 8.5 times 2.5. It is 21.25. So that will be our answer, 21.25 kilometers. That's the actual distance. Let's continue question 6. A gym has 275 members. 40% are bronze members, 28% are silver members, the rest are gold members. Work out the number of gold members. The gold members, it will be the rest of the members. So we need to find out how many percents are they. The whole thing, that means 100%, we take away by 40%. That is the bronze members, and then we take away 28%, which is from the silver members. So we have, let's use our calculator here, 100 take away 40 and take away 28. So we have 32, and we have percentage here because everything is in percentage, so we should keep this percentage sign as well. Now, how many people are there actually from 32%? So we work it out here. 32% of the whole members, which is 275, and that will be, let's use our calculator again. So it's 32 divided by 100 because it's percentage, and then times 275, and we have 88 people. And don't forget to write it down in the answer column. It's 88. That's it. Question 7. 7a. Alan is looking at number machine problems. So this is a number machine. If you have input here, the machine will do something and then give you a result in here. He says, if I know y, I can work out x. That means he knows this number. He could work out what is the input. Okay? That means he knows the reverse direction to this machine. I subtract 3, then I add 5. So if he subtract 3 and then add 5, because the direction will go that way and then that way and give you the information of the input. Does this work? Give a reason for your answer. Yes, I think it will be fine because if you take away 3 and then you add 5, that will give you x. It doesn't matter if minus 3 is actually here and add 5 should be here, because taking away and adding numbers can be done in different orders. You can add first and then taking away, or you prefer to take away and then add later. That should be okay, because adding and taking away, they both are in the same levels, so you don't need to worry about the orders. Let's write our answers down. Does this method work? Yes, and the reason is the order of addition and subtraction doesn't matter. Now let's see the second question, 7b. We have another machine here from input C to get the output D. He says, if I know D, I can work out C. So exactly as before, he's going to do the reverse order from the outputs into the inputs. Let's see. I divide by 3, then subtract by 5. Divide by 3 and then subtract by 5. So the order will be here, here, to get the inputs. Does this method work? I would say nope, because this one is multiplication and this one is addition. So we have to do them exactly in their right order. Instead of doing this, we actually have to do in the right order. So we need to subtract by 5 first, and then we divide by 3, and we get the answer. That is the input. So this is the correct process to get from the output into the input. D, take away 5, and then divide by 3, and you got the input C. So how to give the reason in a written language? I'll say he has to take the right order because subtracting and dividing are not in the same level of calculation. Okay, that's it. Now question 8. 8a, solve 5w minus 11 equal to 24. It's quite straightforward algebra equation, so we can say 5w. Let's leave it here in the left hand side, and we will move the number, this is 11, to the right hand side together with 24, then number and numbers. So 24 on the right hand side and then plus 11 on the right hand side. The reason I give plus is because if you have minus in the left hand side, you move it to the right, it becomes positive. So 5w, there's nothing changed here, and then 24 plus 11, this is 35. So w is 35 divided by 5, which is 7. If you know 7 times table, it will be so easy. If you don't, just use a calculator. That's it. Let's see now 8b. For question 8b, write an expression for the total cost in pounds of X jumpers at £15 each and then Y shirts at £12 each. X is the number of the jumpers and Y is the number of the shirts. So the total cost will be, you pay for X jumpers and each one cost 15, and then you add with Y shirts, that's the number of the shirts, Y, times the price of each, £12. So if you put a bracket here for the jumpers and put a bracket here for the shirts, so you don't mix them up, so you will have 15x, 15 times x is 15x, and then y times 12, you can say just 12y, it's the easiest way. That is our answer, the algebraic equation for this problem. Now what about 8c? Simplify this, x plus y and then times y. So be careful with this. This is addition and multiplication. So we have to do the multiplication first. It becomes y squared, and then x plus y squared. X plus y squared. Now everything is fine. It is plus and it is plus. We can just simplify this one. X plus x is 2x, and this one stays like this, y squared. So it's 2x plus y squared. Question 9. Lucy says 3 is odd and 2 is even. So when you add a multiple of 3 to a multiple of 2, the answer is always odd. Is she correct? Let's see, what is multiple of 3 and what is multiple of 2? Multiple of 3, you can start from 3, and then 6, and then 9, and then 12, and then 15, and so on. Multiple of 2, if you start from 2, you have 4, and then 6, add 2 more, and add 2 more, you get 10, and so on and so forth. Now, when you add a multiple of 3 and to a multiple of 2, the answer is always odd. Is it always odd? Let's find out. If you add 3 and 2, it is odd. Yes, it is odd. But if you add 6 to 2, that will be 8. So it's even. That means it's not always odd. Let's take another example. If you take 12, if you take 8 from here, 12 plus 8, you will have 20. So there is a possibility that we can have even number as well. So is she correct? No, she's not. Write down the calculation to support your answer. Let's show one example. So we can take our examples. For example, 12 add 8 is 20. It is the multiple number of 3, which is 4 times 3, and this is a multiple number of 2, which is 4 times 2, and this is an even number. So I think it should be good. Let's go straight to the next question. It's number 10. Tom earns £9.20 per hour. He works for 24 hours each week and 48 weeks each year. He pays tax if he earns more than £10,000 per year. Does Tom pay tax? You must show you're working. If he earns more than that, yes, he'll pay tax. Otherwise, he won't pay. Let's find out now how much he earns in the year. So 48 weeks in a year, that is 40, and then times 24 hours in a week, times 24, and then the payment is 9.20 per hour, 9.20. Let's use our calculator. 48 times 24 times 9.20. So we have 10,598.4. 10,598.4. So it's more than 10,000 per year. Then yes, he has to pay the tax. Question 11. 3 boxes contain counters. This is box A, box B, and box C. There are 62 counters in total. The total number of counters in box A and box B is 34. So A and B is 34. The difference between the number of counters in box A and box C is 9. Work out the number of counters in each box. Let's do our calculation here. So first information says 62 counters in total. That means A plus B plus C is equal to 62. And then for second information, we have the total number of counters in box A and box B is 34. That is A plus B is equal to 34. And then for the next information, we have the difference between the number of counters in box A and box C. So the difference, we can say A take away C, or A minus C, is equal to 9. Now work out the number of counters in each box. We have A, B, C in this equation, A, B in this equation, and then A and C in this equation. So we have 3 variables in 3 different equations, which is good. Let me say this is the first equation, second equation, and this will be the third equation. I'll take the first and the second equation first. So we have here A plus B plus C is 62. That's from the first equation, and then from the second equation we have A plus B equal to 34. We can either add them or subtract them. In this case, I want to subtract them. So A take away A, that will be nothing or 0. And then B take away B is also nothing. So it's 0. And then C take away nothing. So C is here. And then what about the numbers? 62 take away 34. You want to use calculator? That's okay. 62 minus 34 is 28. So we have the answer for C. Now we'll find out where can we use C for. This is only A and B. This has C in it. So we can substitute this number of c, 28, into here. I'll write it down here. A minus c, c is 28, it is 9. And then a is equal to, let's move 28 to the right hand side. You know why? Because this is number, and this is the variable. The only variable it stays on the left. 9 and then it plus 28. Why is it plus? The reason is because we moved to the other side of the equation. So a is 28 at 9, or it is 37. Okay, we have A and we have C. We need to find out B now. But there is something weird here. Do you see this number, 37 and 28? How many are they altogether? 28 at 37? It's 65. 65 already in box A and C. But actually we have only 62 in total, so it's not possible. How can we have more than 62 already only in 2 boxes? We need to work out something is wrong. With the third information, we have to do something. The difference between the number of counters in box A and C is 9. We can use A minus C, or we can use C minus A. So A minus C doesn't work. We can't do this. Let's cross it out. And let's use the second possibility. So C minus A should be 9. It's a little tricky, but that is how it is. So let's use our C, which is 28. So 28 here, take away A is equal to 9. Minus A, it stays here, the variable. I like to do the variable on the left hand side. And then all the numbers move to the right hand side. So 9 and then take away 28. Because it's positive, so it should be negative. Minus A is equal to 9 take away 28. You can use calculator if you like. 9 take away 28. It's minus 19. Here, minus 19. So A is 19. The reason is that these negative signs cancel each other. So we have A is equal to 19 and then C is 28. This makes for sense for the first informations here. 62 for all boxes. Now we have A. Let's use it here. A is 19 and then we need to find out B, what B is. And then we have 34 on the right hand side. As usual, I like to leave B alone and then move 19 into the right hand side. So we have 34 minus 19. It is 15. So we got the answers now. C and B and A. Let's just double check with calculator. So if A is 19, we add B is 15, and then we add C is 28, we got 62. So 62 here is confirmed. Now we are fine. We just need to write down our answers. A 19, B 15, C 28. Are you ready for the next questions? Question 12. The pie chart shows information about the sales of 800 tickets. There were twice as many adult ticket sales as senior ticket sales. So let's use this bit of information. Adult is twice as many as the senior. Let's say if senior is X and then the adult will be 2X because it's twice as many. Now the question is, show that there were 140 senior ticket sales. 140 senior. Okay, let's see the whole questions. The whole sales will be 800. And then for the senior tickets, which is here, that means we add senior, adult, and child to make 800 tickets. So we have X here, 2X here, and 171 degree here. Let's have X plus 2X plus 170 degree. That will make the whole circle. The whole circle is 360 degree. X and 2x, it is 3x. X and 2x, it is 3x. And then 171 will move to the right hand side as usual. 360 minus 171 degree. What is it? 360 minus 171. It's 189. And then x Leave x alone here. 189 divided by 3, which is divided by 3, 63. If x is 63, so the senior ticket is 63 degree of the whole circle, then 2x must be twice than 63, which is 126 degree. Now we have to show that the senior ticket sales is 140. This is the senior tickets, which is 63 degree out of 360 degree. Let's times it with the whole number of the sales, which is 800. So we have here 63 divided by 360 and then times 800. We get 140, which is correct. 140. And then for question 12b, draw a bar chart on the grid to represent the child, adult, and senior ticket sales. Please keep in mind that we have the information from the previous page. We now need to draw a bar chart. Before we can draw the bar chart, we need the number of each sales from the child, adult, and senior. So for the child, we have 171 degree out of 360 degree. We times it with the whole number of sales. It is 800. So we will have 171 divided by 360 and then times 800, which is 380. 380 here. And then for adults, we know it is twice as many as the senior, and the senior was 140. We knew it from before, so it's 280. And then for the senior, we have the information. It was 140. Let's draw it on the grid now. Let me say it is for the child, and this one is for adults, and this one is for the seniors. And we have the number 140, 280, and then 380. So this will be the highest number, 380, somewhere in the highest here. If I say this is 0, then let's take a step. 100 here, 200 here, 300 here, and then 400 here. So for the child, it's 380 should be here. 300 and before 400 should be here. That's for the child. And then for adults, we have 280. 280 should be, this is 200 and then before 300. So it's here. That's for adults. And for the senior is 140. 140, this is 100 and then 150 is here. So it's a bit below for the senior. Question 13. Alice makes cards. Each card uses 42 centimeters of ribbon. She has 1000 centimeters of ribbon. Now work out the maximum number of cards she can make. So it's quite straightforward. If she has 1000 centimeter and she needs 42 for each card, 42 centimeters, so she could just divide it. 1000 divided by 42. So it's 23.8 and something something. We get 23.8. So the maximum number of the cards is 23, and then she has the leftover, this 8, because in the next question, how much ribbon will be left over? So the leftover was 0.8 of the card. So if each card uses 42 centimeters, that means she will have 0.8 times 42 centimeters left, which is 0.8 times 42, 33.6. That's the answer. Let's move to question 14. Luke saves 10p coins and 20p coins. He has 3 times as many 10p coins as 20p coins, a total of 17 pounds. How many 10p coins does he have? Let's take a look a bit closer with the information. 3 times as many these coins as this coin. So if this coins he has x, the number of the coins of 20p is x, that means the 10p's will be 3x. Now the total is 17 pounds. I would like to say it is 1700p because we have p here, should be p here. That would be easier to work with. How many 10p coins does he have? The answer will be 3x. But what is x? Now we need to find out what x is. Let's do the total. 3x of 10p coins, so we times with 10p, and then add with x times 20p, and the total of the money will be 1700p. So 3x times 10 is 30x. We add with x times 20, it's 20x, and then we have 1700. So let's just ignore p here to make the computation a little bit lighter. Now we have 30x and then 20x. That will make 50x, and we have still 1700 here. So x will be 1700 divided by 50. Use calculator again. 1700 divided by 50. We've got 34. So x is 34. The question was how many 10p coins does he have? He has 3x of coins. So 3x of coins, 3 times 34. 34 times 3, it is 102 coins. Let's write it down here. 102 coins. That's it. Okay, question 15. A company has bikes for hire. The cost, C pounds. To hire a bike for n days is given by the formula. This is the cost, and this is the number of the days to hire the bike, and the cost will be given by this formula. Write down the cost to hire a bike for 1 day. 1 day, that means n is equal to 1. So if n is equal to 1, 1 minus 1, that will be 0. So the whole term here will be 0. So C is just 12. And then the second question, there's special offer. Hire a bike for £9 per day. Is it cheaper to hire a bike for 7 days using the special offer? Then you must show your working. Let's check the formula again. So the formula is this one. Let's just write it down here. The cost is equal to 12 plus 27 over 4 times n minus 1. Now, because we are hiring for 7 days, so n is 7, everything else will be the same. 27, this is 4, and this is 7 minus 1. Let's carry on with the next line. 12 will be just 12, nothing changed, and 27 by 4 will stay like that. 7 minus 1, it is 6. Now it is 12, add 27 divided by 4 times 6. We have 40.5. 40.5. Please be aware that I didn't do anything with 12 because it is addition. We should wait a little bit with addition because the multiplication first, and when we have this result, and then now we add with this. We add 40.5 with 12. It is 52.5. 52.5. So after 7 days, you have to pay 52.5 if you follow this recipe. But if you take special offer for £9 a day, the cost will be 9 times 7 days. It is 63. I hope you remember your timetables, otherwise you need to do the calculator. For this kind of calculation, sometimes I forgot. If I forget, then I'll prefer to do the calculation on my fingers instead of calculator. It's much easier, much quicker. If you're wondering how to do 9 timetables or 7 timetables on your fingers, then please check my other videos. So we compare 52.5 with 63. This one is cheaper. Is it cheaper with a special offer? No. 15C, it's a continuation, but I think it's a totally different question. The graph shows the cost to hire a bike for 1 to 5 days at a different company, because it's different companies, so we don't need to look at the previous page for the information. Now this is number of the days, it is n, and this is the cost. The cost, C pounds, to hire a bike for n days using this company is given by this formula, and this formula is totally different. Now we work out the values of A and B. Okay, so the relation between the number of days and the cost, C, is actually in the form of a line. You can see this very straight line, and the line is defined by this equation. Now, we just need to find what is A and what is B. The easiest way to find the line equation is just find 2 points and add the points into the formula, then you will get it. Let's take, for example, this first one. Okay, we have here 1 and then 9. That means n is equal to 1, while the c, the cost, is equal to 9. Let's add it here on the formula. C, it is 9, is equal to a plus b times n is 1. 1 minus 1. So 9 is equal to a plus b times 1 minus 1, it is 0. So the whole of this term will be 0. That means a plus 0. It's nothing. So a is equal to 9. Now we have the a. A is equal to 9. We just need to find b. Let's take another point. Let's say if I take this point, that means n is equal to 2. And then the cost is this here, 17. Okay, when n is equal to 2, the cost is 17. Let's take the formula again. C is 17 equal to a, and we have a is 9, and then add b, and then times n minus 1. N is 2, and then minus 1 here. So we have 17, and then 9 here. I want to move it into the left, so it's minus 9, and then equal sign. So b is still here, and then 2 minus 1 is 1, so it's b times 1. So 17 minus 9, it is 8, is equal to b. So b is 8. That's it. Question 16. A company's logo is a pentagon. We got some information here. It's a pentagon, has exactly one line of symmetry, has sides with whole numbers lengths, and then has a perimeter of 15 centimeters. We have to draw a sketch of a possible logo. Label each side with its length. Okay, first of all, it is a pentagon, so it has 5 sides. A regular pentagon would be like this, more or less. And then it has exactly one line of symmetry. Let's see if it has one. It is a line of symmetry, but then if it is regular, we can also make another line of symmetry here. And another line of symmetry here. Too many lines of symmetry, so this logo is not possible. We cross this out. Let's make another one here. If I put 2 sides here, I need to make 3 more, so I make it straight in the shape of a house. Now let's see if they have only one symmetry line. This line is a line of symmetry. If we put another line here, it's not a symmetry. So there is no other line of symmetry for this pentagon, which is good. So we did it. Now the third information. It has sides with whole number of lengths, and the perimeter should be 15 centimeter. If I put equal lengths for each of the sides, that will be 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 and then 3 again. So all of them, so the perimeter will be 15 centimeters. But the problem is, this is 3 centimeter and this one is 3 centimeters. So this can't be 3 centimeters. It should be longer. So we put 4 or 5 or 6, something like that. But we need to reduce this height. So if it is 2 and it is 2 instead of 3, then we have 3 and 3, 6. Add 2, it's 8. Add 2, it's 10. So we have 5 here. So this is our pentagon to make the logo with 3 and 3 and 2 and 5 and 2. So everything is checked. Question 17. Mr. Jones works for 5 days each week. If he uses his car to travel to work, each day he drives a total distance of 24.2 miles. His car travels 32.3 miles per gallon of petrol. Unnecessary information. Petrol costs 1.27 per liter. If he uses the bus to travel to work, he can buy a weekly ticket for 19.5 pounds and use 1 gallon as 4.5 liters. Is it cheaper if he uses his car or the bus to travel to work? You must show your working. Okay, let's compare the car and the buses. First computation. If he used the car, each day he drives a total distance of 24.2 miles. And then he works 5 days each week times 5. That's for the week. 24.2 times 5, 121. So he drives 121 miles in a week. Now, how much petrol does he use for traveling for the whole week? You see, this is how far he can drive with 1 gallon of petrol. That is 32.3. So if he has to drive 121 miles, and then per gallon, he can use only for 32.3 miles. So how many gallons he will need? It is 121 divided by 32.3, which is 3.746. Okay, let's take 3.75. So it is 3.75, and this is the gallons. Next step is how many liters in the gallon. So if he has 3.75 and each gallon has 4.5 liters, 4.5, that means he will have 3.75 times 4.5, it is 16,875. This will be in liters. Okay, and then now the cost. The cost is 1.27 per liter. So the cost will be 16.875 liters times this price, 1.27. Okay, times 1.27. So it's 21.43. 21.43. And it's in pound. So the cost is in pound. Alright, now we have the cost for driving the car for the whole week. With the bus, each week he has to spend 19.50. So it's just 19.50. We just compare this number with this number. Which one is cheaper? Of course, the bus is cheaper. Let's write down the answer here. The cheapest way is just write the bus. That's it. Now question 18. Here are two number machines A and B. Machine A with this process and then machine B with this process. Now both machines have the same input. Let's say it's X. It is X as the input. Work out the input that makes the output of A 3 times the output of B. So this is the output of A, which is 3 times of the output of B. So the output of B is just something, and then the output of A is 3 of something. Okay, let's find what is X. So we can say the output of A is 3 times the output of B. So for the output of A, we have X as the input times 7 and then take away 4. That makes the output of A. It is X times 7 take away 4. That will be the output of A, and then we have the equal sign here, and we have 3. We have times here, and then now the output of B. Let's make a bracket. What is the output of B? If we have the input X, and then X times 3, X times 3, and then plus 2, we add 2 here. Now, in the next line, let's simplify our equations. X times 7, it's 7x, and then take away 4. Be careful, we have to do this first and then this later. Now, 3 times x times 3, it is 3x, and then we add 2 later. 7x minus 4 is equal to 3 times 3x, which is 9x, and then 3 times 2 here, which is 6. Now, I like to move those with variables to the left, and then all the numbers to the right. So we have 7x, and then minus 9x. Be careful, it is positive, it is negative. The equal sign, and then we have 6 here, and then we have 4. From the left to the right, it is positive 4. 7x minus 9x, it is minus 2x, and then 6 plus 4, it is 10. So x is just 10 divided by minus 2, it is minus 5. That is the input of both machines. Its x is minus 5. Let's move on. Question 19. Joseph runs 400 meters in 1 minute. He assumes he can run any distance at the same rate. He says, I would run 10,000 meters in 25 minutes. Tick a box to show whether his time to run 10,000 meters is likely to be accurate. We have some choices here. So all the choices are no, the time will be longer. Yes, the time will be 25 minutes. No, the time will be shorter. Let's assume that he was right. He can run any distance in the same rate. 400 meters in 1 minute. 400 meters in 1 minute. Then 10,000 meters in x minutes. We cancel these 2 zeros with 2 zeros here. And then we cross multiply. 4 times x, it is 4x. And then 1 times 100, it's 100. So x will be 100 divided by 4. It is 25 minutes. Yes, it is 25 minutes based on this calculation. But then the problem is it possible to keep your body in the same fitness after 25 minutes of running? I think it is never the case. After a few minutes or a few thousand meters, you get tired, you need some break, or you slow down a bit. That's the real life. It's a bit different with a straight calculation on paper. So I'll tick this box. Let's go straight to question 20. Which sequence is a geometric progression? Do you know the geometric progression? It is from one term to the next term. You need to multiply with a certain number, and then for the next term, you need to multiply again with the same number, exactly the same number. Let's see one by one. From 1 to 2, you multiply by 2. But then from 2 to 3, you can't multiply this by 2. It should be 4 then here. So this is not geometric progression. This one, 1 to 2, you times by 2. From 2 to 4, you times by 2 again, and then times by 2 again. So this one is the answer, the geometric progression. You can carry on checking them, but I don't think it's necessary, so it's better to save your time. Let's carry on with question 21. 21. This pyramid has a square base. So this is a pyramid, and then volume of the pyramid is a third times area of the base times perpendicular height. Work out the volume of the pyramid. I think it's quite straightforward equation. So the volume is third of the area of the base because it's a square, so it must be 12.9 square. And then times with the perpendicular height, which is 17.4. Now we can use our calculator here. 1/3, 1 divided by 3 times 12.9 times 12.9 again, because it's square, and then times 17.4. So we got 965.178. That is the volume. Let's write it down here on the answer column. 965.178. That's it. The next question, 22. We have psi. It's a set of these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then S is the square numbers and E even numbers. Complete the Venn diagram. We have S here and E here. So let's put the square numbers first. We have 1 and 4 and 9. The square numbers in S. So let's say 1, 4, and then 9. And then we have even numbers, 2, and then 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then 12.
Yeah, I know.
And what about the rest? 3, 5, and then 7, 11. They should go outside of these circles, but they will be still in the Venn diagram. So we have 3 here, 5, 7, 11. Now there's one more thing in the final step. You need to find the same numbers in both S and E. So we have 4 and 4 here. You put it down here. So 4 is not here, 4 is not here. Erase, and then erase this. This is our Venn diagram. Let's continue with the second one. One of the numbers is chosen at random. Write down the probability. So P is for probability, S and this intersection with E. So the intersection between S and E is the one here. So it has only one number. Now the probability that we choose 4 out of everything else is 1 from one number divided by all the possibilities. So we have 12 possibilities, then the probability will be 1 out of 12. So that's it. Now question 23. A coin is rolled onto a grid of squares. It lands randomly on the grid. To win, the coin must land completely within one of the squares. Mira and John each roll the coin a number of times and record their results. So this is Mira, this is John, this number of wins and number of losses. Work out two different estimates for the probability of winning. To find the probability of the winning, you need the number of the whole throws, or the whole experiments. So I'll make a new column here, number of experiments or number of throws. So Mira, she wins 6 and loses 44. That means she threw for 50 times. And John, she threw for 28 at 72, which is 100 throws. Now, how to estimate the probability of the winning? The probability of the winning is number of wins divided by the number of throws. So we can say that probability can be 6 out of 50, or you can use the data from John, 28 out of 100. Or there is another possibility that you can take from the whole data. So we add Mira and John's wins. It is 6 and 28. And you add all the throws they had done. So it's 50 at 100. So the probability will be 34 out of 150. You are only asked two different estimates. So I would suggest you to take this one and this one. The reason is because it's better to take the probability that we got from more experiments. Let's write it down on the answer column. It is 28 out of 100 or 34 out of 150. And the second question is, which of your estimates is better estimate for probability of winning? Give a reason for your answer. So as I said before, if we have to choose which one is better, then this one should be better because it came from 150 experiments, which is much more than this one, which is only 100 experiments. So I'll say this one is better, 34 out of 150. And the reason is the more experiments we do, the better we approximate the probability. Question 24. In the sale, the original price of a bag was reduced by 1/5. The sale price of the bag is £29.40. Work out the original price. Okay, we don't know the original price yet. Let's assume it is X. And then we have the reduction of 1/5. So if it is the original price, and then the reduction is 1/5 of X, original price take away the reduction, that will be the sale price, 29.40. Now we just need to work out this equation. X take away 1/5 of X, so it will be 4/5 of X. And here is still 29.40. So X is equal to 29.40 divided by 4/5. Now, to divide by a fraction is a bit tricky, so instead of dividing by a fraction, I like to multiply with 5/4 instead. So it's 29.40, still here, times 5/4. Now we have to use our calculator again, 29.40 times 5 and divide by 4. It is 36.75. 36.75. Let's write it down here. Question 25. Which of these is not used to prove that triangles are congruent? Circle your answer. Let's take a look one by one. You know, SSS, that is for side, side, side. What does it mean by side, side, side? The SSS rule states that if 3 sides of one triangle are equal to 3 sides of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. So SSS is one of the methods we use to prove that two triangles are congruent. What about SAS? SAS stands for side, angle, and then side. And the SAS rule states that two sides and included angle of another triangle are equal, then the triangles are congruent. So SAS is again one of the methods we use to prove that triangles are congruent. SSS and SAS. Now what about AAA? It looks like angle, angle, and angle. But there is no such method to prove the congruency of triangles. So we have SSS, we have SAS, we can have ASA, AAS, RHS, And the last one is SSA. So there is no AAA in the method. Intuitively speaking, if you have two triangles with exactly the same angles, but they have different size of sides, they're not congruent. So AAA is not used to prove the congruency of triangles. Now RHS, it stands for right angle hypotenuse side. And this rule says, if the hypotenuse of a side of a right angled triangle is equivalent to the hypotenuse of the side of the second right angled triangle, the right triangles are said to be congruent by RHS rule. Ready for the next questions? Question 26. E is the center of rectangle ABCD. So we have a rectangle A, B, C, D, and E is in the middle of it. Now work out the length of DE. Okay, since E is in the middle, if we extend the line segment DE straight into B, then we will have from E to B. And now we can see a very nice triangle here, A, B, D, with A is the right angle. So we can work out the length of DB by using the Pythagoras Theorem. Suppose DB is x, and then x is 12 square plus 20 square, and then take the square root of it. As you remember, the Pythagoras says a square is equal to b square plus c square, and then a is equal to the square root of b square plus c square. So we're using this theorem. Now we have 12 square is 144, and then we have 20 square, it is 400, and then we add these two, 144 and 400, it is 544. So x will be the square root of 544. We can use our calculator then to find what is x. We have 544 and then the square root of it. It's 23.3238. Let's take one decimal place, so 23.3. It's 23.3. That is x, which is for the whole segment from B to D. So DE will be the half of it. Half of 23.3. It will be this number divided by 2. It is 11.66. 11.66 or 11.7. That should be okay. Let's write it down here, 11.7. Let's go straight to 27. Circle the equation of a line that is parallel to y is equal to 5x minus 2. Do you know two lines are parallel if they have the same slope? That is the same stiffness. We call it slope. So in mathematics, a line equation will be in this form. Y equal to mx plus c. Y and x determine the positions on the Cartesian coordinates, and m is the slope and c is a constant. So if we are asked about two parallel lines, that means they have to have the same slope. This one has the slope equal to 2 and this one is 5, so this must be the answer. And this one has a slope equal to 3 and this one is minus 1/5. So none of this can be parallel with this one. So we got the answer already. Question 28. At the school, number of boys compared to number of girls is 9 by 7. There are 116 more boys than girls. Work out the total number of students at the school. Let's take this information first. Boys and girls. I'll say this is B and this is G. So the 9 parts and 7 parts, so altogether they make 16 parts. So if we assume that the total number of students in the school is X, that means the number of the boys in the school will be 9 over 16 times X. And the numbers of girls will be 7 over 16 times X. Now let's take the second information here. There are 116 more boys than the girls. Boys, take away girls, is 116. And we have this expression for the number of the boys, and this is the expression for number of the girls. So we can replace B by this expression, 9 over 16x, and then G by this expression. It is 7 over 16x, and it's equal to 116. Now we need to solve this equation. Since they have the same denominator, so we can use 16, and then 9 take away 7 is 2. So it's 2 by 16x. It is equal to 116. So x will be 116 divided by 2 over 16. That will be equal to x 116 times, let's flip it over, 16 by 2. The reason I can flip this fraction over it's because I changed the sign from division into multiplication. So let's use our calculator again. 116 times 16 divided by 2. So we have 928. 928 is x, and x is the total number of students in the school. So we got our answers already. Let's write it down here. 928. That's it. We can carry on with the next question. 29. Circle equation with roots 4 and minus 8. What does it mean with roots? If the roots of an equation of 4 and 8, we can say x is equal to 4 and x is equal to minus 8. If x is equal to 4, we can write it down in a different form. X and then minus 4 and then 0 here. The reason is that we move 4 into the left hand side, it becomes minus 4, and there's nothing on the right hand side, so we add 0 on it. The same thing happens here. X plus 8 is equal to 0. So if x minus 4 is equal to 0 and x plus 8 is equal to 0, that means this term times this term will be 0 times 0. That means we can combine these two, x minus 4 times x plus 8 is equal to, this one is 0 and this one is 0, so it is 0. So we can simplify this writing into x minus 4 times x plus 8 is equal to 0. So we get this equation, which is here. Question 30. It's the end of the questions of this paper. Are you feeling good? So a pattern is made from two similar trapeziums. Let's see the pattern. And show that the shaded area is 294 centimeters square. And okay, before we can calculate the area of the shaded or whatever, we need first of all the measurements. Because for the big trapeziums, we have all the measurements. But here with the small trapeziums, we only have one, which is the short side. Now we need to find this. Let's assume it is x. Let's assume the height is y. Now we need to find what is x and what is y. The ratio between the short side and the long side, it is 10 by 18. The ratio will be the same as in the small trapezium, so it is 4 by x. Now you can see that we have two fractions, we can cross multiply them. 10 times x, it is 10x. 4 times 18, 4 times 18 is 72, so x will be 72 divided by 10, it is 7.2 centimeter. X is 7.2 centimeter. Now let's take the short side with the heights. 10 by 25 is equal to 4 by y. Why did we take 4? Because it's the short side, as we have taken 10 here. Cross multiply again. 10y is equal to 4 times 25. It's 100, so y is 100 divided by 10, y is 10. We have here y is equal to 10. Now we can start working with the area. The shaded area will be the area of the big trapezium minus the area of the small trapezium. It is half of the sum of the short and the long side, 10 at 18, and then times the height. Height is 25, that will be the big one, and then take away with the small one. So it is half of the total, the short and the long, which is 4 and 7.2, and then we times with the height 10 here. So we have half times this at this, and then times 25. Let's keep them in the bracket still. Half of it is 11.2 times 10. Let's use our calculator. So 1/2 times 28 times 25. It is 350. And then take away the one in the bracket. 1/2 times 11.2 times 10. It is 56. So that will be 350 minus 56. It is 294. That's the answer. So we have confirmed that the shaded area is 294 centimeters square.